Devon Jackson donated $200.
Thank you, Devon.
To the 37-year-old blaming men for women's trauma. It's almost as if that's why we advocate that you date/sleep with less men before you us. The men who don't give women trauma.
I did that.
Did what?
I didn't sleep with anybody till I slept with my husband. I followed that and then got shit on for it. He didn't value it. He didn't care about it. He didn't care that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom.
Damn.
And then when I was single again,
I think
it was men who, it didn't matter if I said, I don't want to sleep with you, I don't want to sleep, or I don't want to hook up with you, I want to wait to sleep together. It doesn't matter. If I go on a date with them, they try to get into my pants.
Exactly.
And that is, you are going to mess women up if you do that. And it would help if there is good men out there that see shitty men act that way and go, step the fuck up, quit treating women like that, be a better man so that we can have better women. Men are the leaders and they do need to lead a little bit. The women will not be better if men keep doing this.
Okay. Well, it kind of sounds like your first husband was a dipshit, but
yeah.
But it's not just it's
Or your-
people I've encountered since then. And I know it's not all men. I'm not even going to say that. I have a wonderful dad. I have two brothers that are wonderful. I've seen my brothers dragged through the mud by shitty women. I think that both genders are actively destroying each other right now and looking at each other and going, it's your fault, be better. I am not going to be better. You need to be better. And we're just destroying each other and it's not helpful. I don't know anybody who enjoys dating. And I think it would make a huge difference if the good men out there actually called out the shitty men and said, stop acting like that. You are ruining women for the rest of us and we don't want it.
yeah, but I mean, I agree with you that there are bad men out there, but you're placing a disproportionate amount of the blame on men.
I'm not even saying it's just men. Women go along with it too. I think it's going to take both.
Yeah, but it's not
gonna take
men's
both
fault
genders
because
doing
y'all. It's not men's fault. Y'all fucked up.
Kind of.
No,
yes.
I'm not
There's
saying
shitty people out there.
I'm saying that like when I'm dating, and I'm not putting any fault on my ex or anything like that. I don't care. But when I'm dating and I tell a man, I don't want to hook up with you, I do not want to sleep with you early. And then when I'm hanging out with him, he is trying to stick his hands down my pants actively, and he's trying to do everything else that he can to get into my pants.
But then
Also, I've
what do you do when
never
he does that?
initiated in any.
I think it helps.
Okay.
I think it helps rule
You should
guys
leave,
out.
yes, but that is extremely difficult when it is in a woman's nature to be more sensitive and submissive like men want.
Right.
Exactly.
I've never been the
So you
initiator
are forcing
in any
women
circumstance that I've
to
ever
fight
been
against
in.
their submissiveness, to fight a man off, to tell him no, and then you want her to still maintain submissiveness when
First-
she's grown up having to not be submissive.
Yeah, first of all, submissive. For a woman to be submissive, it's to her husband, right? So a man worthy of submission,
Yeah.
not just any man.
Yeah,
If
I
we're
agree with
going
that.
in terms of
I mean, we live
So
in
a
a
woman's supposed
society
to be a
that
boss babe
we-
until she's married.
Right.
No, but
Not
that's
to-
kind of my
but
point is
also-
that when men act that way, you force a woman to have to be,
We
to
submit
assume
to
that
many
role of
things.
boss babe.
not just to any man. Can you, right?
I mean, we submit to teachers in school. We listen to what they tell us to do.
But that's a different level of
8 hours a
submission,
day.
a
I mean,
different
it's-
definition.
It is, but
Yeah.
it's.
I don't think
I
it's a
mean,
man
we
thing.
are
I
still
think it's a
submitting.
shitty person
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. But how do you submit to be led by somebody if you know, when you look around, if there's doesn't seem like there's really a good choice for somebody to follow.
yeah, that's not
Hold
someone
on.
to.
Then what do you do?
We'll
What do
come
you
back
do?
to
Do
it.
you-
One sec.
Klein donated $200. Is it men that cause baggage or your bad choice in men? Accountability works both ways.
It's both. If there's no good choices in men, that makes it really hard.
But if there's no good choices, do you settle or do you wait until there's a better
That's hard.
option?
When you want to be a mother and you have a time clock on that. You know, I might never have
Can I
kids.
ask you a random question? Have you considered removing all your piercings?
I have. That's part of why I said I look better, maybe better now than I did when I was younger, is because I had very short hair when I was younger. I used to have way more piercings. I have made changes to things to try to be like, okay, if I want this type of man, I need to vary things a little bit and do things a different way. It's also, I'm in an extremely liberal area, which plays a big part in it. And I know that. That's why I know it's not all men. But it's part of why, as a woman, when I say this, men say it's your fault for picking bad men. If there's a lack of
No,
good
I understand.
men, and that's where I'm like, other good men helping lead men
Don't
to be
show that.
better.
But also,
helps overall.
I mean, I feel for you, and I get that you want to be a mother. But if you think about the fact that, I guess in your head, maybe you're thinking, I'm willing to settle so I can achieve
Oh
this.
no, I haven't
but-
done that. That's why I'm still single and I'm not a mom, because I
Okay.
don't want to settle for that.
Okay.
Well, I'm just asking.
Rich guy loves strong women donated $200. There are plenty of good guys out there. The problem is that they are 5'6" and are cashiers at Walmart. She's upset because she goes for guys outside of her league.
Not true.
And Chad won't commit.
Not true. I go for plenty of guys who are not. I can show you the last guy. I can show you, both of you guys, not online. I can show you a picture of the last guy I was talking to for about 8
Are you a
months.
Christian?
Yes.
Okay. So, do you ever wear like nice dresses that are like very traditional looking?
If I'm going somewhere where that's the case, yeah.
Okay.
But for the most, I mean, I wash boats. I don't dress up a whole lot.
Because I would say, like as a Christian man, if I want a family and you have the piercings that you have, and I just say this in a nice way because you're open-minded and you seem like you do have good intentions, and I want the best for you, I would remove all the piercings.
Yeah, because they don't see it, and
Right,
yeah.
you're gonna attract what you are partially, and I also do understand the lack of masculinity. I definitely agree with that. That's why we have to make cultural shifts, such as like this podcast, that enables us to do more of that. But I would start with the external looks because that's what they're gonna judge right off the bat. That's why they are
Yeah.
trying to get in your pants right off the bat as well.
And
Yeah.
also, what matters is like your own intention. Like, for example, I think a lot of Christian women struggle with modesty because they feel like being immodest is maybe empowering, but really, if you think about it, like the type of person that you want is going to value you for so much more than your
dress
body
modestly.
and showing that off.
I dress modestly. I always have. I've never been big, and that's part of the problem is, when as a woman in your teens and 20s, when you're dressing modestly, and I'm sure you guys, if you guys dress modestly, you've noticed it, you don't get attention from guys.
No.
At least where I
Not
live,
the
you
wrong
don't.
kind of guys, but the right kind
I don't
of
get
guys.
attention from any.
Well, I'm gonna say
where I'm at.
quantitatively, you're gonna get less attention, less numbers, but quality. You're gonna attract the
100%.
quality.
Yeah.
I can test that.
But it's even just, I just mean in terms
Like-
of if it's going to get changed at all, it doesn't just, blaming everything on the women doesn't help.
No, I agree, but you have to start with your part first.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree with
and
that.
And then we can start complaining about the men. But I still understand once again, and I think once again making the cultural changes and having men listen to stuff like this where they are being encouraged to follow more ethics and virtues, the immaterial aspects that we don't push. We push all the material. Look for a guy with looks, that he's got to be tall, make a lot of money, but they negate the actual stuff that matters that they have to pass on to their kids: respect, honor, integrity. These are the things that people need to be doing.
I agree.
Yeah, and honestly,
One sec.
Devon Jackson donated $200.
Yeah, thank you, Devon.
We can play this accountability game all day. If all women required marriage before sex, then marriage is what they get. Sex has been so readily available, it's fried men and chivalry with it.
I waited till marriage.
I will say though, the most like high quality and kindest men I know, I asked them like, what's your biggest red flag for women? And they said signs of them not respecting themselves. And an example of that is posting really revealing pictures
don't-
on social
I
media.
don't post revealing
I'm not saying you do. I'm not saying you do. I'm just saying that these are the kindest men and high quality men. They do exist. They're out there, and that's what they value. And so I'm just saying, like, it's not that, like what you said. I mean, quality over quantity.
When you're like, in the area that I am in, it is so against the norm to at all try to wait for marriage or anything.
But against the norm is what's good, and that's what.
Yes,
I
but I
think
mean,
also-
against the
modesty
norm
used
to
to
the
never-
extent of like, if a woman wanted to wait till marriage, there is like a 1% chance that she's going to find a guy in my area that's willing to do that. Like most of the churches, everything is extremely liberal. They don't.
But 1%
it's
is
not-
pretty good. The 1% of men is the good ones.
Yeah, but I tried to wait, and now I know that my pool is a lot smaller. I'm not young. I'm not 25.
I mean, biblically though, like modesty never used to have to be a thing or lust in that sense because, like, I mean, they were naked.
I
So,
think
They
like-
weren't
I
naked.
think,
No,
like, I think
that
like,
ended. That ended in the Garden of
And then
Eden.
They had shame because of it after the Garden of Eden.
I think also like look, I have
What?
tattoos and piercings, but I'm also looking for something different. Like, you have tattoos, piercings, you have highlighter, color nails, and like, smoke. Like, it's just like I'm looking for something different, but at the same time, like a very Christian man who wants like a modest girl isn't like having tattoos and piercings and like brightly colored nails and stuff. That's just like it's
not
just like
common.
how it is.
It's not common.
Well, it's it's also just how like I've never met someone who has like the same like look as you and like also waited for marriage. Like good for you, you know, but it's just like it's kind of different.
Lucas donated $200. 6.7. Given the litany of bed men, including your ex-husband, what would you say is the common denominator here? Learn discernment, be exacting and choose wisely. You have agency. You own no choices.
Do you want to respond to that?
I would agree with that. I do. And I've tried to. I have varied I've been like, okay, I'm going to do online dating. That doesn't work. Okay, I'm going to try to meet a guy here. I'm going to try different ages. I'm going to, different looks. Maybe I'll hang out with a guy that I'm not necessarily like, oh, he's hot. I don't ever go for the guys that I'm like, oh, they're hot. I usually go for an average looking guy that I'm like, he seems like a good, decent, stable guy. And a lot of times it's really hard to find that with how a lot of people are nowadays.
Would you be willing to settle for a man with kids?
Possibly. It's hard for me because I want kids.
Right.
And if I don't ever have them, I don't know if I can be with somebody else raising their children.
I know. I'm saying you can still have kids with him. I'm just like if you had like 1 or 2 kids.
Yeah, I'd be fine.
Let's say he's like 43. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've dated older guys. I've dated guys that are 50. I've dated guys who are my age. I've dated tons of different guys.
I do want to say I don't think you're doing anything wrong in the sense now you want to change, this is a kind of guy that I want. Yeah. And because the dating pool is it's going to become smaller and smaller, trust me. Like
I know.
I know you're saying, "Oh, I'm older," but I have not dated anyone, and it's because you are going to marry one person, right? You're not like, it's the dating pool is so small.
Technically it's going to be 2 because I've already had one marriage.
No, yeah, but you see what I'm saying? Like, you're going to submit to your husband, right? It's not to like multiple guys. Yeah. So all things through Christ is possible. I'll just say that right there. Yeah. And I've seen my older cousin, he was dating someone for 6 years, I think. Mm-hmm. And they separated, and because he didn't see someone, a potential future wife, right? Mm-hmm. And he was like older, 29, almost 30. And so he was like, I'm going to have to revert to women who have already kids, who, and in that sense, he wasn't trusting God's plan. Yeah. But 4 months, and then he was single for a year, I believe. And then he met a young woman. She was in her 29, late 30s. Or early 30s, and they got married 4 months within meeting of each other. So it's like, I know there's, you might say, oh, those are exceptions, but it's possible with Jesus. You submit to the Lord and give it to him, and cast all your cares onto him, and he will give your heart's desires.
Yeah,
That's
and
what I was saying.
honestly, I will say that when you were talking about how in your marriage that you were, like kind of pleading with your husband to stay in the marriage, and that, I guess he eventually walked away. I will say it's nothing to do with you. It's not a reflection on you, but like the Lord will remove people from your life who are not.
It could be.
It could be a little bit. I wasn't a perfect wife.
My point though is that the Lord will remove people from your life who are not adding to it and who are not meant to be in your life. And so, I think every rejection is a redirection. And so, I definitely think that you should take it that way.
Thank you.
Claim
the audio
donated
boosted,
$200. Now it's all men's fault that other men aren't good. If women were better and taught other women, we wouldn't have gold diggers. Be pickier and stop having unrealistic expectations.
I'm not saying it's all men's fault. I'm saying people if it's going to get any better, both genders need to work together. Yeah, we need to stop beating each other up constantly.
Sure. Wait, so you're 37, right?
Yes.
And so you divorced like 9 years ago?
8. It'll be 8 years in the summer.
Okay. And then you've been on all these dates with these men, and they're really handsy, and they're trying to sleep with you.
Not all of them. I don't just spend a ton of time going on dates. But the dates that I do go on, it's been a handful of not great guys, and then there's other guys who are good guys.
But so you described a scenario where, they're putting their hand on your leg. You don't want that. And has that been like, was it one guy, 2 guys, all the guys? What?
There was one guy in particular that was worse than a lot of the others, but a lot of guys, because I try to make it very clear before I even hang out with them that I'm not interested in hooking up.
But like,
And-
so the guy puts his hand on your leg, are you like, whoa, stop, and you're like,
Yeah, with
pushing his
one
hand?
particular guy, yes, I removed his
Okay.
hand multiple times and he would not stop.
So
When-
he kept his hand there?
He kept
I mean,
putting
then,
it
Then we're
back
getting into
every
criminal
single
territory.
Yeah, right.
But like, I think one of the potential problems here is you're 37, probably like the cohort of men you're going to be dating is probably like 35 and up,
Yeah, generally, yeah.
like 35 to 45, maybe even older.
Yeah.
Like I'd say this age cohort of men probably isn't looking to wait like 6 months to have sex. Are you waiting until marriage again?
I haven't entirely decided because
You need to figure that out
I
before you go on dates with men who might want to fuck you the same night.
I always
You
tell
need
them
to-
that I don't want to sleep with them
Okay,
early. It's something that I at least want to wait. I want to get to know somebody. I don't want to hook up with anybody.
That's totally fine, but I need you to be realistic in the dating marketplace. I think that's a perfectly acceptable standard. However, you have to realize these dudes are dealing with women who like will write not interested in hookups in the bio,
And then sleep with them.
and they fuck the same
I know.
night.
That's
so
why I'm
you gotta
saying
be
it's-
really like
That's why
you
I'm saying
gotta
it's
be
both-
screening these dudes out
I
properly.
know. I try to.
But like, so are you going back to their place on the same night?
No.
Are they going to your place?
No.
Like one of the things that you can
I
do.
used to hang out with. I've learned that I can't go hang out with them at their place on the same
and
night.
look, I think a guy should respect your boundaries regardless of the venue, but one thing a woman can do, like if you genuinely are like, I want to wait, don't go to his crib.
And that's what I've started doing.
He can't go to your crib.
That's what I've
and look,
started doing.
I think it should be okay that you could do that, and boundaries should be respected
Mm-hmm.
regardless of where you're at. But like one of the things that you can do to kind of like make that situation less likely is you can't be going to their crib.
Yeah, and that's what I've started doing. Where it's like, okay, I'm not hanging out with your house.
Like you can't
know?
be laying in bed with like
Yeah, I know.
you got to, if that's really your position. Again, they should be respecting your boundaries, but maybe you got to move things a bit slower. You got to pull back on your
And
end
that's
too.
what I'm working on doing. Is what adjustments do I need to make within myself to help this go better than it is? Because the
Do you
definition of insanity is doing.
But
the same
I'm a little
thing.
bit confused. So you said you don't know how long you want to wait. So do you want to wait until marriage or do you not?
For the last several years, I have not been waiting again until I'm married. But as things are not working out great, I am debating if that might be a better policy to take up.
Wait, so question, have you only been with your ex-husband?
No, I've been with other people.
Okay. And was this, it was
After,
obviously after
yeah,
your
yes.
marriage. How recently was that?
I haven't been with anybody for about a year.
A year. Okay. And that guy, were you dating him? How long were you dating him for?
8 or 9 months.
Okay. And then like how quickly into 8 or 9 months did you guys hook up?
Oh, I didn't sleep with that guy.
Oh,
We were seeing each other, but I never slept with him.
you were dating a guy for 9 months and you didn't?
It was not entirely, it was complicated. Our work schedules made it really hard for us to even see each other. And then there was other things that happened where I was
Like what?
just things with trust where it was like, I'm not entirely sure if I can trust you, and I'm giving you a chance to see if we can build some of that back a little bit and see how things go. But it just kept kind of getting broken. So it finally got to a point where I was like, I can't trust you, so we can't really see each other.
So you guys would see each other once a month or?
Like every other weekend, usually.
When you say trust was broken, what do you mean by that?
Just things that he did that involved other women that made me feel like I'm not.
Well, I mean, waiting 9 months when you're that age, I feel like is like.
I mean, no, that
know,
was
a
from
little
early.
tough.
It was from early on in the relationship that things had happened where I was.
Were you
kind
guys
of,
exclusive?
Not entirely. We were dating and talking, and it was the sense of like we both wanted to see where this is going to go. So, but there was a few things that happened that broke my trust.
But I think you should only
Okay.
let the trust be broken, or you shouldn't. Yeah, once, and then you need to walk away.
So were you dating other guys?
No,
Okay. Were you guys boyfriend, girlfriend at this time?
we never really had a talk about it. It was
At any point?
No.
Or prior to the.
Because-
What? Okay, what are you upset about then?
Wait, so
somebody
you
can
guys
still.
never confirm, I guess, like what you were too, in a way.
You don't
Or
want
was
to
it
sleep with the
just, like-
guy, but you don't want to be boyfriend, girlfriend, monogamous relationship.
I-
But he's talking to other women. I don't see the. I
So
don't see
if
the
I'm
problem.
supposed to be waiting to have sex with somebody, I'm not going to jump into a relationship and be exclusive with them because then most men are going to expect sex. So I'm trying to meet somebody and actually get to know them for
like in
a
8
few months.
You should know.
You were talking to him for 8 to 9 months. I mean,
And the things that happened weren't massive, but they broke my trust a little bit. So I said, you know, I'm giving you a chance to regain the trust.
Do you meet them on Tinder?
No, this one I didn't meet on Tinder.
How do you meet them?
It was through work stuff.
Okay.
so okay, just some points of clarification here. You have been with other men besides your husband?
I'm
sexually?
not. It's not my husband. I'm not married anymore.
Well, ex-husband.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And then, like, what was the timeline with those other men?
It varies, and that's not really something that I'm comfortable discussing. I'm not going to tell the whole world how long I wait to sleep with people.
But, like, were any of those men, like, did you sleep with any of them quickly, like, first couple dates?
Yes, and I deeply regret it, and that's why I don't.
I mean, that's such a hard sell for a guy. Like, oh, okay, this guy's waiting for 9 months, and then like a guy you were dating three weeks ago.
If a girl makes the mistake of sleeping with a guy too quickly, she then has to sleep with every guy too quickly.
No,
that's so unfair.
No, you look.
So I can't make the decision to choose to wait because I've already hooked up with a guy.
Hold on, I'll explain it to you. You can be the biggest whore in the world.
I just have to keep being a whore.
Stop. Let me finish, and then you can respond. You can be the biggest whore in the world and fuck 1,000 men within 10 minutes of meeting them, and then after that 1,000th man that you fucked, immediately, you can now make a new determination and say, I'm waiting until marriage now.
That's not what happened.
He's using it as an example.
Hypothetically.
Okay. I'm saying to that extreme, I'm saying that a woman can do that, and that can be her new standard. What I'm saying, though, is if you're dealing with a guy and he hears this and he's like, well, hold on, you slept with all these other guys like first, second, third date. Now you want me to wait indefinitely while you're trying to figure out whether or not you want to wait until marriage before we have sex, or you want to wait 3 months or 8 months or 9 months. I think men can be like, I accept your choice to not want to sleep with me, but that's kind of bullshit. I don't want to date you.
And I feel like that's like a full disclosure.
Like, that's fine.
I would also be like, I feel like it's a full disclosure when you first meet
guys,
other men.
one at a time. Go ahead.
I said I feel like that's like a full disclosure when you first meet them. Like if you do decide to, like you said, like completely change your whole value system and completely flip a switch, you can totally do that. But like you said, like he can't just be like, oh, well, you did all these things and now you're not going to do it with me. Like, I feel like that's a conversation that you have to have kind of like from the jump.
So I have a question though. So if a woman has made the mistake of sleeping with men too early on, and you're telling women that that's a bad thing and they shouldn't be doing that anymore, the woman who has done that isn't allowed to quit doing that, because then every guy is going to be like, that's not fair. You have to sleep with me too because you already slept with
No,
them.
I literally granted that you can be the biggest whore in the world and change,
You can
and that's
flip the
your
switch.
prerogative.
If you did change, like, I
Just
feel
be
like
full
I would
disclosure.
Question why. it
However,
didn't work out.
men can be like, wow, that's okay, you're free to do that, but that's kind of bullshit. I don't want to date you, and I don't want to wait. And if you want to wait, goodbye.
That's fine.
I mean, you want
Yeah.
the truth.
Fine.
You want the truth of what I'm thinking. I mean, I just don't think that the like modesty and like waiting, like kind of like, no offense, aligns with like, I mean, you're wearing a shirt that says eat trash and like have gauged ears. I mean, if I'm being real, I mean, I just
I know
don't
it
think
doesn't
that,
fit the picture.
I know, but you're looking for something, and like I feel like it takes less time than 8 months to get to know someone. And I also think that like guys that want to wait are looking for someone who like I have tattoos and piercings. Like, it's no judgment. We're looking for something different. But I don't think that those two align together. Like, if I saw, like you walk down the
impressions matter.
street, it mattered. Like, you're wearing a shirt that says eat trash, you're 37.
I just think it's a fun shirt.
I'm not saying it's not a fun shirt. I'm just saying that
like,
that just
sorry,
like,
I've
doesn't
always
align
been.
with the two.
I don't
Okay,
really.
I don't really have criticisms of her shirt.
I
whatever,
don't
it's
think
not a big
there's.
deal,
I don't
but-
think there's necessarily clothing choices like that specifically that fit with whether or not you have this belief or this belief. Like
But here, let me ask questions here. I don't care about your T-shirt. So, okay, in terms of timeline here, you got divorced 8-9 years ago. There's been some men that you've hooked up with quickly, some that you're making wait. At this current moment in time, though, you're like not sure if you want to wait until marriage or not. I think you got to tell a guy definitive. Like, it should either be like, yes, I am 100% waiting until marriage, or I'm open to something sooner. I don't know.
That's why I'm saying I'm not sure about that yet, because I'm not going to tell a guy that I'm going to wait for marriage unless I've made that decision. I haven't made that decision. When I said I'm not sure, I mean in the sense of that is something I'm considering doing going forward. I haven't yet made that choice. Like,
How long
I'm definitely
you been thinking
waiting.
about this? Well, I mean, what's there to decide? I don't understand.
I feel like men though, like if they know, like if you
Watch,
are,
check this out. I don't want to wait until marriage. Boom, just made that decision right now.
if you're getting to know men intimately though, and you're telling them like you have slept with a guy sooner than you have with them though, like they're gonna look at that and be like, okay, like, well, she gave this to him, like, you know,
Yeah.
it's like feeling
But
valued as well. But also,
there's
like,
quite a few women out there
if
who
there
have
has been
slept
many
with
of
men early on
partners-
and then try to wait.
I think that
right,
she has
if there's
like
been many of partners, they'd be like,
she does have like she can totally flip her whole entire like view on it.
Right,
like she
right.
has totally like that option. But like there are guys that
but there's gonna be guys that are gonna question it, and they're
And
gonna
that's
like,
fine.
And I think
you know,
that-
I don't care.
I
That's
think
fine. They can question
some
it.
guys might be like, oh, like, what, does she not like me enough? Did she like those guys
And
more?
then all
like,
the
there
questioning,
might be like a
everything is gonna
tad bit of
take
it,
down
an
the percentage as
insecurity.
well.
I can understand.
I think though
Of
that you need to
suitors.
decide, but for yourself, and not be like it depends on the person I'm with. You know what their
it
standard
doesn't
is.
depend on them. It's me. That's why I'm thinking about making that decision.
Okay,
It's just not. It's
but you shouldn't make that decision like strategically based on, oh, what could like help me like date someone better. You should have a reason to back it up. Like
Yeah.
if someone were to ask you why, like I'm not saying have to, but like what would make sense is if someone asks you why is this decision, like you should have an explanation for yourself and
Yeah.
not just what would be more successful for me in
Yeah.
finding someone to marry and have
I
a
agree
family
with that.
Can I ask you, what dates do they ask you on? Like, is it like food, bowling, movie theater?
It varies.
Like the first date. What's
Usually it's like, hey, let's go get some food somewhere, hang out, have a drink, see how it goes. You know,
Okay.
I've got other guys that are like, hey, just come over to my place and hang out. And I don't go do that. No.
would you remove your piercings tomorrow?
Would I remove them tomorrow? Probably not. If I was with a man, then everything was. If I was with a guy and he wanted me to take them out, I would.
Well, I think that would be the problem, though, right? So I think if you want to attract that man to begin with, you have to give off the impression that you are changed, that you are a specific way.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
or that you're wanting to attract a man of that sort of value that you are
Yeah.
I
talking
can
about.
agree with that.
Because you have a good personality. Like if you walked into my church and you didn't have the piercings and you had a nice dress on, and the way you are, you're like more feminine, you're more respectful. I would look at you as just like as a normal, good human being. Whereas I would judge you more if I saw the tattoos and the piercings and all that.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And even what he
But-
said, like where you are matters, like the place. I mean, I don't know. If you're going to church, obviously that's the impression that you're giving off.
Yeah.
But it's just like, here you are saying, okay, I can't find the guys who don't want to fuck me right away. He's asking you to make really an effortless change. Try this. Lose the nose piercings, lose the earrings, and you have to
tongue one.
think about it. What's there to think about?
Because
Be like,
there's-
okay, I'll just do it. I'll try it for a month.
There's no guarantee that that's gonna find me those guys either.
Bro, she's not willing to
but it
take her
could.
piercings out to potentially find the love of her life. That's crazy. You're way too attached to your outward physical
And
appearance.
if it doesn't work,
want
you
some,
can just
like,
put them back in.
virtuous guy to like what?
Is there
Why
a
not
sense of
try?
comfort
Look,
you get with
a
them?
guy could be okay with the piercings, and you might deal with a guy he has piercings or tattoos of his own, but it's like, why not try it? You're so like caught up in like, I'm attached to my like outward aesthetic. I'm not willing to do this minor change to potentially see if it helps with my dating prospects.
I can see your point. And maybe
I get that you can see my point. Why don't you just say, yes, I'm going to try it?
okay, yes, I will try.
But especially
Okay,
the
boom.
tongue one. When I see the tongue one, I'm not saying this.
Oh, you have a tongue piercing?
okay.
Stick your tongue out. Oh, stick your tongue out. Stick your tongue out. Let's see. What is it? I didn't even notice it. Oh, you got a double fucking tongue. Let's see it.
I got that after I was married.
If I see that, I'm
Oh,
not saying
bro.
you're not, but
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, yeah.
All my shit would change. Bro,
yeah.
no dude's looking at a girl with a tongue piercing and thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna wait 6 months to fuck her.
Well, the thing is, I will
What?
say though, what you
like,
just
I
said
want
though
that now.
is like you are driven by the fact that you want to be a mom so bad, and that's just the thing. It's just based on impression. I don't think like just what they're saying. Like that wouldn't be the assumption.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I see that piercing, and I'm not saying you are at all, but I think of a slut.
I know.
Do you know the history behind tongue piercings?
Yeah, it's for
Like
sex.
Slutty, yeah.
Forgiving.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
It is.
Like in
that's
prison.
that's my.
I feel like you're asking
is.
for advice
it's
and people are
she
telling
wants
it
the
to
head
you.
to be better.
It is.
Wait, are you taking
That's
a
exactly what it
break
is.
from dating? Is that what you said, or is it
No, I'm not taking.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
still.
I feel
Wait,
like you're
have-
asking for advice and
How
people
long
are
have you been
telling
celibate?
you.
a step
year?
back?
I'm not celibate. So it's been like a
I'm
year
sorry?
since
Yeah,
I've
I'm
slept
so
with somebody. I'm
confused.
not technically celibate. It's been like a year since I've slept with somebody.
Oh, well, you've been celibate for a year.
Yeah.
Sure.
You haven't had sex with,
okay.
yeah, okay. Sorry, were you asking her
Oh,
something?
yeah, maybe taking a step back and allowing, like she was saying, work on yourself.
Do you want kids?
Yeah.
I would
Eh,
like
no
to
step
have
back.
kids.
No step back.
Oh, okay.
Fucking tonight. Go in the bathroom right now. Take that shit out. Take it out. We
Put them in a little
get-
Ziploc baggie.
We gotta
Is
step it up
that,
a little
is
bit.
that what's gonna make you guys happy? You guys want me to go take some of my
We're not-
piercings
no,
out right
we
now?
Please don't do that right now. That is unsanitary.
leave
feel
it in for now,
comfortable.
but I just
I think.
I
it's
think
also
you're
a sense
asking
of
for advice and we're
comfortability.
trying to tell you it's not going to make
Okay,
us
okay,
happy. We're
okay.
trying to make
that
you
would
happy.
be.
It's not. I can see.
That
I
would be
can
funny
see
as
the
fuck,
point.
though.
I'm not giving you advice. I'm giving you reality. If you want to take it, then you can. I don't care if you take the advice. Yeah. I just say because you do seem like a good woman.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Double
and you
tongue
have good
piercing.
intentions, and you want the best thing that I think people should strive for, which is a family, which most people will never accomplish,
Yeah.
sadly. And I hope you do get that, but you have to make these changes if you want that.
Yeah, and like I'm sure what Bella meant is like taking a step forward, but chasing after the version of yourself again,
Yeah,
like I said.
taking a step back so I can work on me a little bit and then going into dating.
But
Sorry, you said you were a Christian, right?
yes.
Okay. So are you actively in a church or no? Okay. My advice would be to actively engage
get involved in
into
a
a church.
community.
It's
And with
been-
women your age,
it's
that
been-
are-
Find a guy there.
It's very
It's
hard.
been very
to,
hard for me to find a church in my area that I
Okay.
actually
Yeah.
agree
Why don't
with.
you move like 2 hours north?
My job.
Is that you can't move because of that?
My job is like right in Seattle.
Chats, maybe. Okay. That's.
Because I live very like in the middle of nowhere, and I meet a lot of great conservative
I wish
people.
I could live in the middle
Yeah.
of nowhere. I wish I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my job. Everything is like right in the city, so I can't.
I
Really
feel like
move
it is
north.
hard to find a good church that isn't like hypocritical in a sense, though. So
Yeah.
like they
Quicker.
could say that they're following one thing and be completely acting a different way.
have you had
So-
a bad experience with it?
Yeah, I've gone to multiple churches as well. I'm not really doing that necessarily or going out of my way to try to go to church, but I do want to practice something that like I consider myself polytheistic, so I take things from each religion as well. So I mean, I'm just trying to practice what makes me feel more comfortable as a person.
How soon after your marriage was there a rebound?
faster than it should have been.
Yeah. How fast?
A few months.
Can we? Hey, we gotta look. We really got to get the cameras on the people when they're speaking. Okay, faster than a few months, or what?
No, faster than it should have been.
Faster than it should have been.
Yeah.
Okay.
I made very poor choices after I got out of that because, yeah.
I'm just still caught up on the tongue piercing.
But there's something I'm not
Wait, did you have one right
understanding.
here too,
Like,
right?
I've had a lot of
Yeah.
piercings. I've had over 20 piercings.
but what it means? What
Was
we
your
saying
previous
that
husband with
girls
where
with
else?
piercing cannot have a
Were you with
nice
your previous
relationship or
husband?
find love?
They're sluts.
When you had them? Okay.
Here, you got to put it on.
Really?
Blake, please. Put it
That's
on who's
insane
speaking.
for me.
Prioritize that, please.
Well, it depends on, once again, the goal. You don't have a goal, so you can have 100 piercings and you're good. She has a goal. She wants family. She wants a Christian man that
That's
can
the
lead her.
goal we should all have. Like, I don't understand.
I didn't
If
say
you don't
you
want to
should. I
have
didn't
a
make any
family, it's not the.
I just made a descriptor.
Okay,
I just
your goal?
explained what the reality is.
I don't know. For me, it's
I mean,
insane
if that's
that,
what you're looking to achieve in a suiter, I guess.
Well, let's look. What's more valuable? You getting raw dogged every Friday by the whole football team, or her wanting kids and a family?
honestly, just the fact that you guys saying that the girl with piercing or tattoos gonna have a goals or relationship or love.
We never said that.
But you can't say it. Like, why she has to take off all this stuff? To
I'm not.
find the
I'm not.
love
I'm not
or
even telling her
something
she
like-
has to. I'm saying if you want this specific lifestyle with a specific man that can lead you, it's going to require this.
It's for that's the type of man
Yeah.
that you
It's
It's not
want.
necessarily that it requires it.
It's
She
saying-
could find it. It's just going to be a lot.
It's hard to
more
look from your
difficult.
lens because you're like, once again, you're taking a bunch of dicks every day.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
from
yeah.
her lens, it's a lot different.
Okay.
Because people perceive things in a different way. based
And I
off
very
of-
much appreciate
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get it now?
Wow. Well, people's crazy, you know.
I agree.
And you are one of those also.
I don't
Even
take
if
dicks in my ass.
And you can also be a crazy person without taking dicks in the ass, my friend.
Yeah,
like
but
being so fucking
the
rude
chances are much higher.
and judging people like you are who? Like who are you?
Aren't you judging me right now?
No, my friend, like yeah, because why are you speaking to the like you believe all what you say is what it is? Like you crazy?
If you're getting offended by what I'm saying, it's probably because you're not proud of what you do.
Uh-huh.
You can judge me and criticize me all you want. It's not gonna affect me.
Okay.
Because I'm okay with how I live. But you're getting offended. I don't know why.
Okay. Wow, you're so smart, my friend. Okay, well.
All right, there's a chat coming through.